3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I am Snooks.
And today is a holiday. Today is actually Labor Day. So I'm doing my best not to do any labor. And yet that seems like that's all I've done.
I was going to say I've been laboring all day.
Well, that's you every day, though.
Well, I mean, it's a different kind. Today was wash day, also known as hair wash day. That is a labor of love that I dread doing because it's a whole big old mess going on.
I know exactly what you mean. You know,
Whatever.
I haven't had to deal with my hair. If I don't feel like washing it, or I don't even know what I'm washing it. I'm washing my scalp half the time.
It's okay.
But, you know, it's so funny. So I got up to, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take time and relax. And then I proceeded to vacuum the game room downstairs and then use our Kirby thing to shampoo the carpets.
Our Kirby thing.
The Kirby vacuum cleaner or whatever it is.
That's the Kirby. It's a vacuum and you can shampoo.
Right.
Instead of Kirby thingy.
But it's one of those things I've been meaning to do for so long. So I thought, you know what? I can't let another week go by and I don't just jump on it.
Yep. And he tried to, I won't say he tried to.
Wow.
He, what did you do? Finagle me into also doing it.
What'd you do? Oh, that's right.
I know you, Shane. Talking about what I do. Anyway. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So anyway, no, but I don't even know where Labor Day began, but before we even jump into that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I want to remind everybody to go ahead wherever you're listening to us. If you have the ability to leave a review, please do. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, definitely go leave a rating, leave it at, give us 5 stars or whatever you think we actually deserve. Put 5 on it and leave a review. We encourage everyone to actually do that as well. So please go ahead and take care of that. Okay.
And oh no, I was just going to say, well, we'll talk about that later. But since you're talking about things that we are asking action items from our audience, I was going to also say go to mic.com.
Or marriedintocrazy.com.
I'm sorry, marriedintocrazy.com and coach on our coaching tab and set up a discovery call. If you'd like to go from good to great to phenomenal.
Absolutely. It's one of those things we don't talk about it enough. I mean, we kind of hint at it at times. But as you all know, for the most part, we are marriage coaches. We're both certified, all that. And it's what we truly love to do. We look forward to it. We have several new clients coming on this week. But it's one of those things that it gives us energy. You know, where it may drain some people, it actually livens us up to know that we're actually helping other couples. So definitely go to the coaching tab at marriedintocrazy.com. Click on the discovery. Go ahead and scroll down and then click on the call, discovery call, and it's free. You get 15 to 30 minutes for us just to chop it up. We're just going to talk, see how we can be of assistance, and you get to decide if we're right for you and vice versa. Because there's not always some of y'all we don't want to work with. Not just playing.
So mean.
Just playing. No, but it's one of those things. But it's a two-way street. So it's not like you're obligated to do anything whatsoever. It is just a conversation to see if perhaps our particular vantage point, utilizing our method of crazy, which is being compassionate,
real,
accountable,
zealous,
and yielding,
yay,
actually ends up working for you as well. And it seems like it might be able to fit into something that you can incorporate to help you go from wherever you're at right now to that next level. Mm-hmm. But it does require work. And I say that because it's a great segue into Labor Day, which I have no idea why.
How it started, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked this up a little while ago and I had to find the paper. So there's a couple different variations of how Labor Day started or what the first Labor Day was.
Okay.
On Google.
Dr. Google.
Dr. Google. Dr. Google says the very first Labor Day was September 5th of 1882. and it was the Central Labor Union was the ones that were like, you guys need a day off, basically.
So it
Something like
basically,
that.
so the union, so this is
Central Labor Union, yeah, set it up to celebrate Labor Day. So
okay.
that was one, and then there's other choices that you can choose from. Another one said that in 1894, employees of the Pullman Palace car went on strike, crippling the railroad traffic nationwide, and that forced Congress to make Labor Day a national holiday.
And so the Pullman were actually another union.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was all the Pullman. I know there's a
Is that
movie
what,
out
did
there.
you hear that one too? That's
No,
what happened?
no, I didn't know that that's not what happened, but I know that the Pullman was like the labor of all the Pullman that were
Oh
associated
yeah.
with the
With the
trains.
railroad.
Yeah, with the
Yeah,
railroads. And so me being a union guy, I mean, I don't belong to a union now,
I do.
but I have always, always, always believed in the union, particularly after. Do you remember when I got stabbed?
Hmm.
That y'all, we had like over $250,000 worth of medical bills, and I was only working for my particular employer part time. I was only putting in somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 hours a day.
At that one, because you had a different job too.
Yeah, I had multiple jobs, but that one I belonged to the union.
Hmm.
And the little, whatever they were taking out every check, never really gave much thought about it. Everyone just said, "Oh, you need to belong to the union." And when it came time to pay those bills, the union paid all my medical bills. I mean, they made sure that they were taken care of. I mean, we're
Hmm.
talking over $250,000 based on
It's
the
like
two open research.
330,000
Yeah, it was like a house.
at that time. Yeah,
They could have bought us a house too, but hey, but we're happy. We're very thankful.
that's funny.
Oh, no,
Yep.
but they did. They basically bought
Hmm.
a house back then. And back then, in 1996, a $330,000 house would have been bomb. Right now,
Yeah.
that'd be like a 1.5.
No, I think it'd be more than that.
You think? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but it was crazy. But that's what the union did for me. That's why I never cross picket lines. I don't get into the reasoning and all that and the politics. All I know is that they took care of me when I needed it most, and so I don't cross picket lines. And that has absolutely nothing to do with Labor Day. But I thought I would just kind of throw that in
Throw
there.
that in there about the union.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of cool though.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what happened, which one is the real one or whatever. I mean, sure, there's different, unions that or employees that were like, no, we're
Right.
going on strike, and then but this one particular one said Congress they crippled the railroad industry nationwide, so that forced Congress to make Labor Day a national holiday.
So what's interesting though is that what does this got to do with marriage? What does this have to do with relationships? With this being Labor Day, I mean, it's pretty apparent to me that sometimes people get upset with their relationships because they feel like it's not going the way they want, right? They always think, oh, if it's if it's meant to be, we shouldn't have to work so hard at it. That's one of the one things we hear so often. And it's a misconception because quite honestly, if it requires anything that's worth having requires work.
Okay, so basically what Lovey is trying to get at. The question that we want to ask is, what type of labor are you putting in your relationship? You know, it would, like you said, with it being Labor Day, we just talked about the different labors that we did today. I said, I washed my hair. It's hair day, and that is a labor of love. It's a love hate relationship. I want to say, not hate. It's just a lot of work. It's an all day thing, and Lovey he put work in on doing the
My hair.
carpet.
Oh yeah, the carpet.
Okay. So, and that required he had to take the equipment out of the game room, put it on the stair landing, shampoo, a vacuum shampoo, let it dry, put it back up there again. The good thing about having a Kirby though is I'm about to talk about the vacuum like you were doing earlier, is that it doesn't, sometimes when you get you go have the carpet cleaners, they come, the carpet is wet for like at least they're all like good 24 hours or so. No, that Kirby ain't no joke, y'all. The carpet was dried after because they don't use a lot of water. Carpet was dry after what, a couple hours.
Yeah.
So he had to put everything back, and then he came downstairs and did it again. And I helped also. But yeah, we put our energy into doing all these different things. Sometimes we don't think twice about the labor that we do, for our job, for sports. I got to work out. I have to, get in shape or whatever. We did some labor over on Saturday. We played pickleball. We haven't played that in almost a year. I thought I was going to die, but okay.
She almost did die. She rolled her ankle
Oh my God. First I
twice.
twisted it, and then I rolled it, and then I came home, and then I slipped on it and had to rub my ankle up. I couldn't even walk. So that was a labor.
Right. And it's true though, because there's labor involved, right? What do they call it when you're having a baby?
A labor.
Yeah.
Going into
Labor,
labor.
going into labor. And it's funny to me that the things that, and what's worth, I mean, our children are definitely worth it, right? It's one of those things that many people look forward to if they can, and they have children, but it's called labor. You're going into labor. And just like our marriages, there's so much that needs to go into it. There's a lot of fun. People always talk about, work hard, play hard. You work hard, you play hard. But in order to play hard, you have to work hard. And same thing when it comes to relationships. If you want to love hard, if you want to have good, strong love and have a relationship that's giving back to you, it requires work or labor.
Yeah. And you can't have the attitude. Kind of, you kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier. Some people are like, well, if it's love or something about it shouldn't be this hard or something along those lines. I know exactly. I'm paraphrasing probably your paraphrase, but you think that because we're in love, that there should be no work that's required. And that's just not true, because we have to, if we want it to look good, or not even look good, if we want it to be good, we put work into it. I'll say work instead of laboring. Like, you do gardening, or we fix food or whatever it is that we do. That was hard work with the vacuum, but it was worth the labor because now it's clean.
Yeah,
It
it
looks
looks like our
nice.
grandchildren haven't destroyed our
Yeah,
carpet.
playing makeup and stuff. And I complain about my hair, but it's like my hair is healthy and I have to, it requires work. So what are you doing for your relationship? What labor are you doing? How are you making sure that you have good quality stock in your relationship? What are we doing? Are we saying that I don't feel like doing that, or we're just like, I'll get around to buying her flowers, or I'll get around to cooking him dinner. I know that there's something that he wants, but I'll do it later. So what are we doing?
It's funny you say that. So one thing I want to call out is that we try and help couples, just through some of our social media content, whether it be through our Instagram, at Married Into Crazy, or again, at Married Into Crazy on Facebook. We also have an Iron Tribe, right? We have the Iron Tribe, the marriage community. Look us up on Facebook, and that's what it's called. Iron Tribe, the marriage community. And we do certain things on there to try and, I guess, help people with the labor ideas. Like every Monday, today we did a Married Monday accountability where we throw ideas out there, for you to do something small, something easy, that's not overly laborious, but it's one of those things that you can do that goes a long way in your relationship.
Mhm.
So make sure you check out Iron Tribe, the marriage community on Facebook, and join us. It's open. It's one of those things that we would love for you to actually come and hang out and, and bring some of your nuggets as well. The whole purpose of that is to lift each other up. But I bring that up because there is work. I know we keep saying it's work, it's work, it's work. It is, but it's fun work, right? Sometimes they say if you find a job, when we're talking about careers, if you find something that you love doing, they say you'll never work a day in your life.
Mhm.
If you're truly committed and you want that next level relationship, we're talking about labor and it's work. Sometimes it's the personal growth part that hurts. It's not the relationship. It's not that, in order to love somebody, you're going to be hurt. I mean, there is that. There's the risk of, feelings getting hurt and all that, because we're human beings. But when you're with the right individual, sometimes when you're putting in that extra work, it's not going to feel like work because you know that it's going to really make the other person smile. Like, for instance, Snooks today on Married Monday accountability,
Mhm.
the thing that she pulled from that can was, I can give my spouse a foot massage. And I am not going to forget that because I'm looking forward to it. But it's labor for her. honestly, or it's labor for you. If you're the one, we talk about being team Snooks or team Lovey, whichever one we pull, you can do both or you can do one of them. And the video is on the Iron Tribe, the marriage community, so you can check that out. But there is labor, there's work involved, but it's funny because when you're really imparting that pleasure, it's it's one of those that you get into. So it's not like it's truly work, but it is labor. Look, let's just keep it real. I mean, this is all about adults. We're married folks, so we can talk about sex. Sex is work. It is. It's fun. It's something that we all look forward to. But sometimes you got to go to work.
You always got to go to work. What are you talking about? Sometimes.
Right. No, but it's fun because but even though you say that, you might be working up a sweat to get things going, to get her where she needs to be. But it's work. But you look forward to it.
Mm-hmm. I do.
I know you do. No, and I do as well. But it's look, all work isn't bad work.
I was going to say that. I think sometimes we interchange those words, or in our minds anyway, we think when we say, oh, this is going to take work, the first thing you do is go towards the negative, like, oh, it's work. I don't want to do that. Oh, it's work. Like all work is not bad work. It's work when some people love working in the garden. Some people love washing their cars. Some people love, I don't know, whatever labor thing that they
going
love
to the
do.
gym.
Oh,
yeah. What do they call it?
Yeah.
What are the
gym rats or
the gym rats? Yeah,
or something like that.
Even if you're like, what are they say? You're gonna go work out.
Work out. It was work when we played pickleball, but it was so much fun. I mean, we laughed and we got our exercise on and everything. There was nothing negative about it. So we need to erase the thoughts in our head, or rewire ourselves into thinking that when we say there's work that's required, it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I want my marriage not just for it to succeed, because you can have a successful marriage. I mean, I feel like a successful marriage, that's
like an oxymoron. No, it's
not
not oxymoron.
not oxymoron, but it's not. That's kind of relative or subjective. I'm sorry. So when you say, "Oh, my marriage is successful," a marriage of longevity could be successful for someone. That's because they didn't get divorced. That's what the success is. But for me, a successful marriage is me, my partner, and I, my spouse. We're loving each other. We're having a good time. We're laughing. We're interacting. We have intimate moments. We're, he considers me, I consider him. All these things that require work, is successful. That's what I'm saying is successful. So we need to change our mindset on what it means to do work in your relationship. It's so funny because there are so many times where we said this before. We've been the brunt of not jokes or whatever, but little digs, because oh, that's the Huxtables, or oh, those are the lovebirds, and people sometimes it sounds funny, haha, but there's an underlying meaning in it. But Lovey and I, we work at staying whatever the Huxtables are, or the lovebirds. We've been told, like, I ain't finna do that. Some people say that it doesn't require all that. I'm not gonna do all that. And I was like, okay, so that's your choice to not do all that, but don't rock on my boat. Don't rain on my parade.
Right.
Don't all the things that you sit and you frown at me about because I do these things for my husband. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Well, okay. Well, I thought you was gonna fix my hair. I was like, it is looking wild, but but because you put your hand up.
No, but it's one of those things. No, you're absolutely right. There are times where people have said, y'all doing extra.
Yeah, it's too much. It doesn't require all that.
And it's funny. It's like, and so what? Extra for you is our norm, and sometimes for us, it's extra. But you got to make the effort. It's one of those things, that I don't 100% subscribe to this mindset, because it could be taken on in a negative way. But when they say fake it till you make it, about certain things. I'm not talking about fake it, like act like, take pictures like I'm standing next to a Ferrari or whatever. I'm talking about there's times when you don't really want to do it. I don't really feel like working out, but I'm going to walk into the gym and I'm going to find something to do, even if it's just getting on the treadmill and walking. And that walk turns into a jog. The jog turns into a run. I'm going to fake it until I make it, until things go. Sometimes in our marriage, there's times where we don't want to do certain things. I just don't feel like it. That's an emotional response. So you fake it. That means like, okay, not like, oh, hey, I love you. But no, it's,
well, I hope you do.
but you fake it like, okay, I'm just going to go in here. Let me just go in the kitchen. Let me see if I can just make something. Let me just start doing something. Or today, I didn't feel like, remember, my intention was to get up and be lazy today, but there was something that needed to be done. And so I was like, let me at least vacuum this area. Then the vacuum turned into the full on shampooing and of the carpet and all that. I started off kind of faking it until I made it. Same thing when it comes to, I really don't feel like giving her a foot massage, but let me just rub on her feet a little bit, so like I said, I did it. Next thing you know, that rub turns into a full on massage of the foot. And then it's just one of those things that happens, but you got to start somewhere.
I think it's, like you said, the whole fake it till you make it. It's like, I look at it like it's kind of projecting or something like that,
It's a positive projection.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. So I'm not really faking it because I'm positively projecting the outcome of my service for my spouse. So last week on Monday, we did that MMA can, not MMA can, but the married Monday accountability. And Lovey's was he had to get me flowers, and mine was I had to plan a surprise. And I already knew what I was going to do. I kind of messed with him all week, but his surprise ended up being a pedicure. And so I did the pedicure for him. And, it was work, but he was so thankful. Even I was like, oh, I didn't want it. I waited till kind of late to get it done. I started late, but I could have been like, oh, I don't want to do this. I just didn't want to do it that late, but I did want to do it. But the reaction that he had, his response, I should say, to my actions, giving him a pedicure, that made me get more into it because he was so appreciative of the fact that I was giving him a pedicure. Sometimes we need to let our spouses appreciate us so that we can in turn get that endorphin buildup, I guess it is.
The endorphin response.
Yeah, because absolutely. I felt great afterwards. You would think that I was the one that was getting the pedicure, but Lovey was so appreciative. And same thing, I feel like I was very appreciative with the flowers. And so he likes the response.
I do. I really do. And it's funny because oddly enough.
Come on, do you like the response?
No, we did. And it was funny because I let her speak her language. Her love language is acts of service. And it's funny. She's just not thinking about it. She didn't think about it, but it was just one of those things where it just came natural to her that when it said do something, a surprise, her surprise wasn't taking me someplace. It wasn't like, okay, let me just give up the booty or whatever. It wasn't about being sex or whatever, but it was, she just spoke her love language in its authenticity, truly authentic. And sometimes that's just being it. For others, that's being extra. Because some of y'all are listening. He said, she did what? She gave him, he better go down to the shop and go see whomever.
I don't touch feet.
Right. I guarantee somebody out there said that. And you're laughing to yourself right now because you was like, yep, that was me. But it's the truth. But what she did was, for you might be extra, but for her, that was like, let me do that. But I'm telling you, I'm challenging you right now. Those of you that are listening and driving, you can't take a note, but I'm telling you, make a mental note. Be extra. Do a little extra. Put in a little extra work. At first, it's going to seem like work, but I tell you what, the dividends that's going to pay you in the long term, it's not even about what you're doing for them. It's about what makes you feel. Take note of what Snooks just said. When she saw my response, I didn't know she was going to feel that way, but when she saw my response, because I thoroughly enjoyed it, I loved the pampering that she gave me. And the fact that she got a feeling, she said she had an endorphin response, that she had that, and it was the same thing. When I give flowers and I see the smile on her face, it means everything to me because it was the smile that I first noticed when we met on December 16th, 1995. Yeah. When I saw her and met her, it was the smile that attracted me. And I see that smile every single time I give her flowers. So that's that's something there. So it's not about labor. It's about putting in work for your love. But like you said, all work isn't bad work.
Well, I mean, it is labor because you had to go get the flowers. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like I said, Lovey, can you toil the backyard or
No.
that
Yeah.
would have been a no-go. But no, it's just one thing we just have to think about. How much labor are you putting into your marriage? This is the relationship or with your partner. This is the relationship that we chose, our kids didn't choose the relationship with us because we had them. We said we are going to have kids, but I chose my relationship with my husband. We said we're going to start a family together. We're together. So why not do everything you can to make it happy, to make it be joyful, to make it everything that you ever dreamed about, why not go that extra mile? Like Lovey said, if you're ever going to be extra in anything, be extra in your marriage, be extra with your spouse. That's why we say, what's one of the things we talk about when we do our coaching, we go over, we talk about the DISC assessment because you learn your partner. What is the best way to talk to your partner? What is the best way your partner likes to receive information? These in and out, day-to-day intangible things that we do all the time that a lot of times we just take for granted. Learn about that stuff, figure it out, put some work into it. That's the labor of it. Learning your spouse's love language. That's the labor of it, of working towards having this phenomenal relationship. I know Lovey's love language. Lovey knows my love language. And we work on it and we make sure that we're doing it. That's the labor of it. It's not a bad thing, taking the apology test or the quiz,
right.
Those are labor things. We could sit on the couch or be on our computers, or I could be reading my book or whatever it is. But we choose to do these things for our relationship, to build our relationship, to make our relationship be phenomenal. And that's what we want for everyone else too.
I agree. So as you were talking about that, about the different languages, about the love language, about the DISC assessment, about the apology languages.
I said assessment. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. No, but it's one of those things that there's all these different languages that exist within your relationship. There's also we use the Gottman relationship checkup, where it really points out areas that need assistance or strengths. And it's funny, when you were talking about languages, I thought about growing up. I grew up in a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood, in my very first neighborhood that I grew up in. And I remember we had to take Spanish, but they taught me and a couple other kids Spanish so we could fit in, and it was, we laugh now, and I wish I would have stayed in there because I don't remember a lick really. But I wish I would have stayed or continued doing that. But when I went to my other schools and growing up, I remember that kids are cruel. And I remember there were a couple of friends that English was their second language. So they're considered ESL, right? So English as second language. Kids have a tendency to make fun of other kids that don't speak English very well. You might be speaking slang all day, but in my adulthood, in my young adulthood and so forth, realized that we were really the ones that should have been made fun of because this kid knows two languages. Broken English or not, they speak two languages, or if not more.
Right.
I knew a kid that spoke 5 languages, and it was like, wow, okay, that's work. That's hard. I ain't doing that. that was my thought. But, I grew up and learned French, but we need to be that, I won't call it ESL, but let's call it LSL. Your love secondary language. Instead of English secondary language, it should be love secondary language. And we should learn the other ones. It doesn't matter if you speak it broken. Speaking broken French or speaking broken Spanish or broken Italian or whatever is so much better than the person that only knows that one language. Because, if you learn a little bit of Italian, a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of French, those are all like the romantic. But even if you learn like some Russian or whatever, all these different languages, if you can pick up a good chunk of each, not 100%, maybe not 100% fluent, but enough to get by, enough to actually hold a conversation. That's so much better than never having the conversation at all. And I think we need to do that more when it comes to our relationships.
Also, just kind of make me think about, remember when we went to Italy? We were in Rome, and I remember we went to get gelato, and I was trying I was trying to say it, like read it and say it in the Italian language. And I remember the lady looked at me and she just smiled, and she helped me out, and she smiled and laughed. I think she appreciated the fact that I was trying. So I didn't get a little tiny scoop. I saw some of the other scoops that some of the other people that were in line, I got a big giant scoop. And I want to say that maybe because she saw that I was trying to speak her language.
Is that when we were in San Gimignano or in Assisi?
I was Assisi.
Assisi when we first got there.
Yeah, Assisi. When we were there. But I got a bigger scoop, and I felt like, because I was trying, I was trying to relate to her, and I had it all wrong. But the fact that I put forth the effort, and I think that's the same thing that we can say, what I feel like, even with our relationships, the fact that you're putting forth the effort, like we could sit back all day and be like, I can't say it, so I'm not even going to try. But if you put forth the effort, I will help you. That's where we meet each other halfway. And, we come together and let me, or you don't know how to say it. Okay, I know how to say it. So let's learn together. Let me help you,
That's so dope. And that's so true. It's like, you want a bigger scoop of loving? Exactly. Put forth the effort.
Yeah.
So the labor isn't so much about work. It's about your effort when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
And so I think, what we need to do is remind you all now, or I'm not making the announcement. We're going to be putting forth some effort on October 9th down in Los Angeles. And we've been invited, both Snooks and myself, we've been invited to actually participate in the Marriage Mastery Meetup. It's going to be at Life Enrichment Worldwide Ministries on Saturday, October 9th from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So you can go to our Facebook page. I'm going to have it on our website as well. You can go to marriedandcrazy.com. It'll be on our front page, the registration, but you can also go to our Facebook page, which is at Married Into Crazy. And also, if you have a tendency to join the Iron Tribe and you see our Iron Tribe, the marriage community, it'll be there as well. So go and register, because what we're talking about doing there, it's us and two other phenomenal speakers. We're going to be talking about, and this is at a church, y'all. We're going to be talking about sex. We're going to be talking about being more compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding in your relationships. There's going to be the love dare. There's so many different, not love dare, the sex dare is going to be on there as well. Yeah, so we're excited because we're going to go there and take some notes. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be down in Los Angeles, California. There's a registration fee. Go ahead and check out the link. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but it requires work. The things that you're thinking, on a Saturday morning, 9:30 to 1:30, it's a commitment. Put forth the effort. Come down, visit, enjoy yourself, and put forth that effort so that every day could be Labor Day in your home. You can get that bigger scoop of loving. That's what you want to do, is get that bigger scoop of loving. That needs to be
the bigger scoop of loving.
A bigger scoop of loving.
Okay.
Just try and speak the language and you're going to get that big scoop. Big scoop. Anyway, hey, this has been a lot of fun. We enjoy each and every one of you. Please keep coming back. And more than that, invite a friend. Share the Married Into Crazy podcast with a friend, and definitely go wherever you're listening. If you can, leave a review. Just take a moment. Even if it's just going up there, slapping some stars up there and said, hey, love the podcast.
Slapping.
It doesn't have to be a long paragraph, just a few words. Let us know that, we are connecting and that we are actually giving you some valid content that's helping you with your relationships. So until the next time, be blessed.
Bye-bye.